Hey everyone, I'm Danny and welcome to Wizardry Workshop. This video is another request from our headmistress over on Patreon. This time we are doing Mathilda Hopkirk's letter to Harry, which was in the form of a howler. It wasn't as loud as Ron's howler, but it was definitely a howler. I've wanted to do this project for a while, but I've just gotten wrapped up with other projects and did other things, so thank you, Louisa, who is our headmistress on Patreon, for requesting this and giving me the motivation to actually do it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below if you do like this video, and if you enjoy Harry Potter DIY projects with free downloads and other magical Harry Potter related content, go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Check out the description box below for all the supplies you're going to need to make this project, as well as the free downloadable templates, and let's get started. This is going to be a super easy project to put together. All you're going to need to do is print the templates. I do have mine right here for the envelope, double-sided on plain 11 by 17 paper. I also have the envelope in a smaller size, which is 8.5 by 11. As you can see, I printed the little actual letter here on 11 or 8.5 by 11. If you print the envelope on 8.5 by 11 paper, it's in 3 different sections that you glue together to get this size that I'm using in the video today, and we can just continue from there. One of the most frequent kind of questions or requests that I get in the comments of my videos is, where do you get your templates? And I actually do design every single one of these. I don't download them from the internet and just print them out. So what I do is I start with a blank canvas and I design everything from the ground up. This includes, I match fonts, I find the correct clip art and other artworks that they actually used in the movie props. I find the correct borders that they used as well. Most of these come from vintage sources. And then I do create all of my own textures, and I do all of my own aging digitally in Photoshop. I hope that answers that question, and if you want more on that, or if you even want to see some of my design process, learn more about it, and even download some of the assets that I've created and collected over the years, I have all of that available on Patreon. First things first, let's do this letter, because it's going to be the easiest thing, although all of this is easy. Now you can see in all 4 corners on the letter template, there are these little marks, and these lines are actually cut guidelines. We're going to use these to cut this into the right size. If we line our ruler up with those lines, and then we go ahead and cut, but don't cut all the way from edge to edge. Don't cut this whole piece off. You want it to stay attached to the paper, but you just want to cut all the way along just like this, and that allows you to have this still attached. It's not cut all the way from edge to edge. And this will allow us to use all of these cut guides without, if I cut this all the way off, I'd lose 2 of those cut guides. There we go. So now I have both of those sides cut. I can turn it, and then we can just cut this part with the longer lines all the way off, and that'll trim it all down to size. When that's all cut out, your letter should look just like this. And now we can move on to the envelope. If you look closely at the template, it has a cut line. You can see it's a very faint line there, and you're just going to follow along that with your scissors. I also like to cut the straight edges of these lines with my ruler and X-Acto knife just to get it nice and precise. So from here, what we need to do is make 3 folds. I'm actually going to be using my ruler and my Cricut scoring tool in order to score this before I actually start folding it up, just to make it easier. This piece that's kind of hanging off on this side that I'm covering up with my ruler right there, and then the same thing on the other side, are flaps that are going to need to fold in. So if I line my ruler up right where those start, we can just make a nice score line right here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. The next 2 scores that we need to make, or folds that we need to make, are right from the end of where those score lines stopped all the way across to here. So basically, these 2 parts are going to fold in as well. So I'm just going to line my ruler up right here and make one of my fold score marks right here. We're going to flip it around and do the same thing from this corner to this corner. And now we are ready to fold. As I said, these two kind of flaps on the sides fold in like this. And then this large piece right here folds down over the top of those little flaps. And then the very top is going to fold over like this over the top. We're starting to see a face. But we've got to kind of get this thing to stay before we can actually turn it into the Howler. I'm going to be using score tape for this because it's very easy. You could also use just regular double-sided tape, though it doesn't stick as well. Or you could use some type of glue, like a glue stick. Whatever you decide to use, you will want to apply it to each one of these little flaps right here on the outside. The cool thing about this double-sided tape that I have here, this score tape, is that you can take that white backing off once you've placed it where you want it to go, and now you have a nice sticky piece of double-sided tape on it, right where you want it. Next, we're going to want to tape down the front of this envelope right onto those two little fold flaps that we have right there, right where we put our glue or tape. We're not actually going to do anything to attach this to here just yet, but we will do that in a little bit. First, we want to make sure that everything is nice and folded and that it's not wonky or anything. I like to take just like a folding tool like this and just reinforce all the little folds to make sure it's nice and flat. Now it's time to actually kind of puff this thing up into a face. To do this, you can use your hand to get in here on the inside, or you can use, I'm going to use my scoring tool. You could also use like a pen or something to get in there. But I just get in there, and we're going to want to do a little crease sort of right here on the side, and then another one right here, kind of like where the bottom or the side of this lip is right here, if you look down from there. So we'll have one here and one there. And as you can see, that kind of puffed it out a little bit. And then we're going to do that same thing to the other side. Put a little crease in the side and a little crease at the bottom. As you can see, it's starting to puff out a bit. Not looking the best with the mouth all wrinkled up like that, but here we go. And now if we take the top and fold it over, and if you can put this just in the right spot, you can see right there, that is the Howler. But we do need one more little tiny kind of crease, I guess, or dent. I guess that's what we're doing, is denting this. We're going to put a little dent right here in the middle, right at the top, like this. And we're also going to put a little crease right down the center, basically where the nose is of this Howler. Right there, right down the center, just like this. And then you can sort of unfold that as well. We just want the crease there. Now we can take a piece of double-sided tape. This time you don't want the score tape because it's too strong and you want to be able to open this up. So I'm just going to use some regular double-sided tape, just a small piece. Even a piece this size is a little bit too big. So I'm actually going to fold this in half and then in half again. So we have an even smaller square of tape. And that's going to go right here on the inside of the nose, just like that. We can also sort of flatten it back out again. Now that we've made those indents, it kind of knows where to go. But now we can fold this down and tape the nose right where it's supposed to go, just right there. Now you are going to need some type of tool to go in through the eye holes. And we're just going to redo our little indents, and since we made them first, they should be a little easier to do than if you hadn't done them yet. So I've done it on that side. And then we can flip those back out. And you don't want it to be like extremely puffed up, so you can sort of gently flatten it a little bit on your table. And, you know, just look at a screenshot from the movie and try and get it to be close to that shape, how you like it. But I like it to be just like slightly puffed up like this. And to me, that looks pretty much just like the Howler in the movie right there. Now you could like put this on strings and sort of suspend it somewhere. Make a small one, use it as a Christmas decoration. I'll definitely be suspending one of these somewhere up on my shelves, although the one I'm making in the video today is going straight to the headmistress on Patreon. Optionally, we can also flatten this out and then fold up this letter and put it on the inside. And it should fit if you just fold it directly in half, like this, with the Ministry M showing in front. And since we used that light double-sided tape, it should come right open. And we can slide the letter right in there. And oh, with the M in there, it kind of looks like she's cross-eyed. I didn't really notice that before. But yeah, most of the time you're not going to be looking at the front when the letter's in there. It's going to be sitting on the back just like this. Kind of, that's how we see it in the movie, just at sort of an angle like that. It's laying on the couch. I'm probably just going to have the letter out, and you could even have it open like this so it looks like it's been delivered, or you could do something like this to display it so you've got the design on the back next to it. Or you could puff this one up and just set this somewhere else completely. After you've kind of puffed and unpuffed this enough times, it actually gets pretty easy to get it to go to the shape that you had it previously. But let me know what you guys think of this Howler. I think it turned out pretty good. In my opinion, it just looks like the one from the movie. I could just imagine this thing floating around telling me I'm expelled. Whoa, it looks like my head. That would be a really weird Halloween costume, just to like wear a Howler mask. But anyways, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think of this DIY in the comments section below. Also, if you were gonna get a Howler, what do you think it would say? Mine would probably tell me to exercise or get up. Really, just get up. I spend most of my time working in front of a computer, so I really do need to get up and walk around more. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.